going on? My name is Jack Skerry. For my senior project, I choose a powerlifting competition, and let's get into it. So, essential question. I had to ask myself something, what was I going to do? And through a lot of hard work, and Ms. Phil Brown suggesting to do what are the necessary steps to holding a powerlifting competition in the school, that's what I ended up with. I had to ask myself a lot of questions with the essential question, like, how will this be achieved? How would I begin to organize this? And who do I need to talk to? How would this be achieved? I really had to research a lot, and I had to use my prior knowledge into this new knowledge to figure out a plan. How would I organize this? I would talk to my friends, go online, research, do all these steps. And who did I need to talk to? My mentor, Mr. Fallon. Great guy, I love Mr. Fallon. That's why I said he's a perfect mentor. Our morals and values align, definitely. I talk to him all the time. We have a great relationship inside and outside of the classroom. And I really was in need of someone with connections and the ability to book the weight room because that's where my competition would be and where it would be hosted. So, Mills High School core values. In the core values, there's personal growth. For my project, personal growth is everything. Weightlifting, all you do is see personal growth each week, each month. And the next one, respectful, safe, and inclusive. I thought my project was very respectful. Nobody was too loud. Nobody was slamming weights. It was safe as I had athletic trainer Patrick Dalton in there supervising and making sure nobody would get hurt. And inclusive, it was inclusive to all. Anybody could participate, compete to their fullest. And lastly, self-direction. I think weightlifting is huge for self-direction. It kind of, it's you, it's yourself, and your progress. So why I chose this project, this is me in the weight room. That's just kind of why I love it. It's a picture proving that. But I have a passion for self-improvement and the gym specifically. I love kind of betting on myself, making myself better each day, and it's very important to me. And I have a desire to help the current weight room situation and any athletic team possible because it's really disgusting down there. All the weight is rusty, it's terrible. I feel bad for everybody down there. It smells. My hopes and aspirations for this project. So I wanted to leave a legacy. Me and Mr. Fallon talked about this a lot. He wanted me to leave a legacy and for a new senior, a junior, rising senior to take over this and leave a mark on the school. I wanted to make an impact on people around me to encourage them to work on themselves. And yeah, I wanted to let students show off their hard work too, any students, because I see a lot of them in Compass at the gym in there, and I wanted them to show off their hard work and prove what they've been doing. And I wanted to raise money for new equipment because again, the weight room is disgusting. Timeline. So I wanted to follow the following timeline. October to December, I would organize a lengthy and elaborate plan, which I did. I wrote that down on paper. I had my whole situation going. December to January, I needed to begin advertising through social media, which I also did. I went on my Instagram. I sent out like 4 to 5 forms on my Instagram story for people to see, view, sign up for. January to February, I booked the weight room. I needed to take care of a liability waiver through Mr. Dickey, and I put up some flyers. And lastly, February to April, it was time for my project to really come full circle. I made t-shirts and I finalized the project. So for my first topic, I had to really research the USA powerlifting because I needed to know the rules, the legit rules of powerlifting before I started. So I went through that, I researched the source he gave me, was great. I had an understanding and direction, and the outline was dependent on this source. Then my second topic how to organize and set up a powerlifting competition. I needed organization, and it was a very key component to my project. So I actually first got my t-shirt idea while researching the topic. I wanted to make t-shirts for the winners. And through this topic, I realized advertising was a crucial step that I needed to research if I wanted to go anywhere with this project. So it comes to my third topic on advertising. This topic consisted more of marketing and how to put the word out, how to make people buy my product. I needed information on marketing and how to reach my target audience. And through that, I went through social media because I found it was a key component to all of this. And through hours of work digitally was the best method. And I made these flyers, you could say, through editing that I've learned throughout the years. I don't know, the tips told me that it really pops out, so I went with it, and I think the people liked it. Lastly, one of my fourth and last, I researched actual tips to digital marketing. And I researched report number 3, gave me the inspiration to learn more about digital marketing, as like before it was more marketing, so I got into the digital factor. And I used and found out appealing tools and tricks to gain more traction from my event, like editing apps, and yes. So the actual competition, as you see here, I had brackets through weight categories. So it went from 95 pounds all the way to 200 and plus. Competitors would go in, there'd be 3 weight lifts. There'd be the bench, the squat, and the deadlift. They would come in, they would have the warm-up, and then they would write under the bench how much they did for their first rep, how much they did for their second rep. And then they'd write all that down, and I eventually had this whole little kind of messy whiteboard thing. I circled 2 1. These are actually one of the winners right here. I gave them a t-shirt, and we had some giggles. This is some pictures of the project itself. This is Jay Dayhoff. Yeah, that is, his last name's Dayhoff. He's a great guy. I've known him for football. That is him squatting and deadlifting. He's really getting into it. And you see he has spotters on both sides. You can see a hand there and there. And one behind him for all safety matters. Here's more competitors. This is Joe Gray, fellow senior, hitting a 185 bench press. And then that is Ryan Petrish. I don't even know how much weight that is. He's really getting into it. And then here is my good friend, TJ Daniels, spotting a girl from Alston, actually, who wanted to come out and compete. And this is Mia Baraccio deadlifting. So reflection. I had a good number of contestants. I had 17. I had 25 sign up, but a lot of people could not come due to sports or other prior events, which was kind of disappointing, but I made do with what I had. Everyone paid without complications. That's also could have been another issue if people were, I had to badger people about getting their payments in, as I was charging $15 per event, or per competitor. And there were no injuries. That's the biggest thing I walked away happy with. Nobody got hurt, and Patrick Dalton made sure of that. And all teachers were supportive of my event. What I've learned from this project, to never give myself limitations. Procrastination is probably the worst thing anybody could do. Preparation and composure is very important while conducting a project of this matter. And you are your own enemy in these situations. You control everything. You are the only person stopping you. And here's some emails. And my advice for rising seniors, again, don't procrastinate. Stay on task with your timeline goals. Reach out to helpful sources and connections. And lastly, don't be afraid to ask for help, because there's always going to be someone out there to help you. I want to say thank you to the following people. Mr. Fallon, Ms. Salachi, TJ Daniel, Ms. Phil Brown, Patrick Dalton, Mr. Ardicki, and everyone who competed. Thank you. Questions?